All right. Well, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Craig Blanchett, as you know, and this is our health coach huddle up. Today is actually Friday. We do these every Friday, March 24th, and it's exciting day. I just got back from vacation, so that's where I was for the last 9 days, and you guys did a great job continuing our trainings and all that. So just wanted to welcome everybody today. A couple things as we're moving forward. Take Shape for Life has a couple of things that some of the newer coaches may not be aware of, and there's ways of getting information out to you. And there's also some new ways that Take Shape for Life is now delivering content that you may not be aware of. So we're going to talk about those today. Then we're going to talk about the night before call, and so I'm going to Daniela and Diane and Kim are going to walk us through that today. And so as we're getting started, though, we're looking to be able to broadcast live directly to the Health Coach Huddle, and so I'm working on that technology right now. But until we get that worked out, you can subscribe, and I find that subscribing to a weekly podcast is one of the best ways of sort of having that content delivered right to you, where you don't have to take those extra clicks or brain power to go find it. And so in your podcast app of choice, you can search for Health Coach Huddle and or Team Blanchett, and you'll be able to find that weekly audio. And then if you're on YouTube, you can search for Health Coach Huddle and my name and find the video every week as well. And then once you actually get there, if you click subscribe to the channel, then every time there's new content, those different devices will automatically notify you. And so I really want to encourage you why subscriptions are so powerful when it comes to an ongoing framework of learning. Because if any energy you spend trying to find something is going to be energy that you could spend on digesting and learning the thing that's being delivered. So a couple things here. I'm going to share my screen really quickly here, and then I'm going to toss this out to the rest of the gang here for our training. And then we'll say, well, by the way, hello, everybody. It looks like the usual crew is here, so it's nice to see you all again. So let me just jump right into it. I don't want to take too much time away from the regular stuff. But if you go to TSFL Coach Connection, that's a website that Take Shape for Life has available for us coaches. And on this right-hand side here, it says subscribe. And so there's that fancy word, subscribe. And the value, like I said, the value of the subscription, when you subscribe to the newspaper, they deliver the newspaper to your doorstep every day, or however often your subscription is set up. So you can type in your email address and then click subscribe, and then you'll get the weekly Coach Connection information. And it's really informative. They come out with new information there. They talk about the support calls for the week. They talk about the core training. They talk about the Monday night calls, the Wednesday night calls. And then here's something that I just saw. Facebook Live every Thursday. Join Dan Valentine. So I clicked on read more, and it brought up this page. And this is the information about where to go. There's a Agents of Transformation Facebook group that Take Shape for Life started up. And there's different times here, 3 p.m. Eastern, March 16th. So this is some information about when these things are happening. But it looks like that you'll be able to go to that page and you'll be able to see when Dan Valentine is going to have regular live Facebook presentations. And so anyway, all this can be found at TSFL Coach Connection. So there you have that. And that's a little new information. So I'm going to toss this. Welcome Daniela, Kim, and right there. And it sounds like there's a little bit of background noise. I'm not sure what was going on there, but I'm going to toss it over to the ladies. So welcome.
Hello. So is it me? Is the background noise coming from me? I just unmuted myself.
I don't know. It's not there now, so I think you're doing okay.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm excited. We're going to be talking about integration, which is a pretty big topic, and it's also a very important topic. And I thought it would be great to look at what does the word integration mean, right? Because it's a pretty big word. So the word integration means the act of bringing things together into an integral whole. So something whole is something that's complete and it's not lacking. So together we're better. You hear that a lot. And what's really interesting, I thought we'd use Reagan, baby Reagan, right? Baby Reagan's new to Linda. Well, every time we bring on a new client, I look at them like a brand new baby. Now, don't tell my clients that, but it's like we're having a new baby, right? And we need to integrate them into a whole of our community.
I can have one.
What was that?
Oh, she didn't know she was unmuted. I muted her.
Oh, okay. So anyway, so that's what integration is. And the why of integration is a lot of things. And I'm going to talk about just a few of them because we are a little bit limited on time and I want to really get to the training part. But, you know, people want to be part of something that's bigger than them so they don't feel so isolated and so alone in the world, right? And when we're pursuing health, that becomes really important because most of what's out there really doesn't support their journey. So when you bring them into the community, you are creating a cocoon of support around them. And when you do that, you're insulating them from the world and you're really increasing the chances of their being successful. So it's a place to celebrate clients. It's a place to encourage them. And really, it really makes our job as coaches easier because there's a lot of interaction that takes place when you know, especially on the Facebook pages and stuff, which then, you know, it makes for them more likely to learn things because they're hearing it more than once. They're hearing it from their peers as well as from other coaches. So it's also an environment where coaches are born and identified. So that's another really important piece of integration. Without integration, really our clients aren't doing anything more than a diet, right? So, and we know what those statistics are as far as success goes. 85 to 90% of people fail. So why wouldn't we integrate? So that's the question. So there's lots of layers to integration. Today, we're going to cover two of them. Daniela is going to talk about the night before call. So Daniela, you can go ahead and take her over.
All right. Thank you, Diane. I absolutely love that. And, you know, I'd like to pause for just a second and take a moment of true integration. Linda, I don't know if you're still available there by video with Reagan, but let's integrate Reagan for just a minute into this team community because we haven't gotten to do that and to celebrate seeing her.
There she is. Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Sorry I look so horrible, you guys, but here she is.
Oh, you're beautiful, and she's gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, we're so happy for you, Linda. We've been anticipating this moment of seeing you here live with your little sweet ones. So
it's pretty awesome. It's very surreal, but it's awesome. But she's ready to take on coaching full time for sure.
There you go. Well, she's ready to appreciate mommy being there for her all the time, right?
Oh my gosh, that's the best part is I don't have to worry about going back to work or I mean you have to go to work, but I can sit in bed with her and do client calls. It's awesome.
Yeah, so. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing her with us, Linda.
Oh, anytime. Anytime. She loves
to see her in real life soon. So
right. Everybody go to conventions just so you can meet Ray.
There's another reason to go to conventions.
That's right. If you want to hold her, you have to be there.
There you go. Love it. Love it.
Thanks, Daniela.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. So that was our moment of sort of, I guess, reintegrating, right? Linda back in because she's been otherwise occupied with very important things. So, and welcoming little Reagan. So, let me see here. All right. So let's get started with the night before. You know, there's been some exciting updates in Optavia. I am beyond excited with what's happening in our whole community as we convert from TSFL to Optavia. And one of those actually has one of those shifts, at least in my mind, really is a much stronger focus and target from the Optavia team as a whole on the process of integrating clients. And so let's jump into this because there's some new information. Take some notes, but don't panic at the same time because you're going to have a reference sheet that we're going to post in Optimal Health Coach for you and some links and things like that. So enjoy, and we look forward to hearing some questions at the end. Also, we'll have some time for that. So first of all is setting up for the night before call. So you have your client that you know by tracking number, right, when they're expected to get their health kit. That's what I like to call it. And so what we're doing now is sending them actually a video, like maybe the day before they're anticipated to receive that kit. And I'm going to put that link here, but don't panic and you know, write it down or whatever. You can copy it and save it for later with your copy paste tool. It's going to be posted again, but it's an 11-minute video and it's awesome. It was done by Julie Baker. And what she does is she actually takes the kind of redundant work away from us and lets us get down to the business with our clients. So in this video, and I'm not going to tell you all the details, but she walks through the Optavia guide, the 4 components a little bit, but she really gets into the lean and green, you know, all the explanation and that sort of thing. And you kind of feel like you're a tape recorder saying the same thing over and over again, right? Well, she takes care of that for you so that you don't need to do that. So you don't need to spend your time there, and you can redirect your time to what's more valuable. So once the client has listened to that video and they're ready to get started, they give you a call or you call them, however you have that established with your client. And then you're going to begin by welcoming them to the Optavia journey and just asking them to open their Optavia guide. So I'm pretty sure we all have one, but the place that I like to start is this one. It is page 4, I believe, yes. Hang on. Yep, that's right, page 4, sorry about that. And what you want to help them see right away, bring them right away back to the 4 parts of their journey, right? So our work with them on the night before call isn't going through the lean and green and all that. It's helping them see that there is 75% more to their program than the food that came in their box. And so the way that we have discovered is really helpful in taking them through this because they've heard the video, so they've heard those components already, but is really asking them questions to help them understand why would it even matter to them that they engage in these other things? Why not just eat food and get these great results, right? Because that is what happens. And so we ask questions about the 4 cornerstones to help them. And I'm going to kind of talk about some of those questions. So first of all, I like to get out of the way. Are there any immediate burning questions in terms of the lean and green and the 5-in-1 process, right? And that way they're just out of the way as if they're not that big a deal, right? And because we know the process is easy, we know they have a beautiful reference in the Optavia guide, and we know we're going to be there to answer any more questions anyway. And then I like to move on to my first favorite question is, what are your thoughts on how having a health coach might serve you in your journey, right? So rather than telling them, right, because we probably already shared the benefit when we were sharing program. Wouldn't you agree? So asking them what that benefit or value is going to be for them. And then asking them if they understand, do you understand what is meant by the habits of health system? And waiting for that response, because I'm often surprised that they have no idea what I mean by the habits of health system, even though we have spoken to them about it, right? But I don't know about you. Sometimes it takes me several listenings to something before I really grasp, what that meaning is. So it's an opportunity to share again, that vocabulary, what that refers to, and then asking them how they think a system for learning to change habits could be beneficial for them in their life. Right? And letting them have some conversation or thought processes on that. And it may take a few more questions depending on what they respond back to help them dig into that a little bit. And then this is the part that I now absolutely love, because we do integrate our clients from that very first share. They're already on the phone with somebody else from the team. I get to say, hey, you've already met another member of the team when you signed up with Optavia, and remind them of that person. That was Kim or Diane or Craig or whoever it was. And then say, share with them something like, everyone is such an asset to the team, and you're going to be a wonderful asset to the team as well, right? Empowering them to be part of the gift of the team. And then asking them how they think having a whole team of support could help them with struggles, with celebrations, with finding answers and solutions. And just, let them kind of respond to that. And even asking them how they think they might like to support or contribute to the team, because that tells me a lot about where they are, right? Are they, I have no idea, and that lets me know how, where I start layering in that. Or they might say, well, I've got some healthy recipes already. Oh, fantastic. The team would love to have, to share in some of those, and giving them that permission from the get-go. And then I like to end a little bit with, what their immediate thoughts are in regard to the fuelings and what aspects are most appealing to them. And the reason I like to kind of mention that question is it helps to divert some mindsets of, what's it going to taste like, and those kind of things, to what is the real value, right? So we can refocus. And then I just close with them and let them know I'm so excited that they're part of the Optavia team, and that we're all very excited to support them, and I can't wait for them to meet more and more members of the team. And we talk about that, our most successful clients integrate in every one of the aspects that we've just talked about. And so we'll be talking about them often. And then, when can we connect tomorrow for our first call, right? So that we're getting them right into that next integration process. So that's it for the setting up the night before and then the night before call. So I would just love to sort of toss it out and see if anybody has any immediate questions about that before we go on to another exciting part of integration.
I want to jump. Oh, Eileen, go ahead, please.
If they do ask, because we're supposed to ask them about what they understand about the habits of health, if they understand it, what do we go into after that? Would we be given, do we have to explain how we see it, or is there kind of like a set statement or a general, guide?
Yeah. So what we're trying to accomplish with that question is just that they even have an awareness of that piece, right? So when we say, do you understand what is meant by the habits of health system? I'm hoping they say, oh, it's that book and that workbook that I'm going to be working through, right? Okay. And if they don't say that, I share that. Well, did you notice that cellophane wrap package in your kit that you got? That's the Habits of Health system, right? So I'm not expecting some elaborate explanation. But once we've established that, I can say, what do you think the value is of that cellophane wrapped jewel in terms of helping you undo habits that you might not want to have and create habits that you do, right?
Okay.
It plants the seed of what that really is and what their ideas about. And oftentimes people will say things, yeah, I've got some really bad habits around coming home after work or about watching TV and eating everything in sight. And so then it's like, oh, well, you know what? There's some great pieces I can point you to in this Habits of Health system that are really going to help us work through that.
That answers the question. But what if, is it wrong to also, in that first, would it be too much to tell them, to suggest to them that they look through the book and maybe try to spend a few minutes each day reading, starting to read it? Or is that a little too much to put on?
I don't know that it's wrong, but I'll tell you what I've experienced. I've experienced that it's really, really important to get them into fat burn first before we start worrying about their attention everywhere, because their head's already going to be full of a process that's new. Does that make sense?
I think it is too much. Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
Craig, you're on mute.
Oh, there it goes. It was spinning, waiting to unmute me. One of the things that I've done with the texting campaign, as soon as I enroll them, what Daniela just said was really powerful. Once they've started the 5-in-1, they're going to be quick start guide, primarily focused, and they're going to be learning water. Oh, it's time to eat again already. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. There's all that, right? But when you enroll them, there's like 3 to 7 days where there's not a whole lot happening. They're just waiting for something. And I think that's the one of the best times to get them subscribed to the podcasts. And, they don't have the book yet, so they can't start reading the book. So that's what I've done is on my Now You're Enrolled text, welcome, now you're enrolled. Hey, here's your first assignment. And, go sign up for these things, these podcast things. And I can post that on the Optimal Health Coach page, the verbiage of that now enrolled first assignment kind of text that I do. And it gives them something to do. I tell them, listen to one, there's 3 podcasts, listen to one of each and tell me which one you like the best. And that's the whole assignment that I do, Eileen, to kind of wet their whistle a little bit.
I love that, Craig, because that again is integration before any of the food. And one thing that I forgot to add that actually is on my sheet that I'll share with you is I actually spend a couple minutes on that night before call actually helping them enroll in the text campaign, that Optavia text campaign, because that ensures integration. I'll say, do you have your phone handy? Let's do this. Right? Rather than sending them to do it later, because I haven't had much success with that. But if I have them right there with me pushing buttons, that works.
I wonder, Diane or Daniela, I wonder if on that, this is just an audible I'm calling here, is during that connection with the coach that we've been talking about, you're now enrolled, awesome, hey, let me connect to our community. I wonder if part of that is a reinforcement that we have this resource, and maybe the mentor coach or that third party coach that we bring in, that's one of the things that they say is, hey, make sure that you get connected into our community. So-and-so will help you with that.
Love. And I did that with the first client, inviting them into the health huddle right away. They don't have their stuff and they're not going to. And, she was super hesitant. She didn't come, but she gave me a maybe, which it started out with an absolute no. So it's a process. And if we start it early, I think we have far better chances. Awesome.
Yay. Well, Thank you for that, Daniela, because that is such an important call. I think it really sets the stage for everything. So now we're going to have Kim talk about Facebook integration, and she really, as far as the team goes, is the master on that. She had that has that wonderful page that now we're all a part of. Is happy. I always get this wrong. Happy living, healthy living, happy life. Did I get that right, Kim? So she's going to share with us what her tips are around introducing people onto the Facebook page. And, you know, there's some wonderful things going on that page right now. I've been watching it and getting on there and interacting. So it's really exciting to see how this is evolving. So Kim, will you share with us your wonderful tips?
I would love to. I can't hold it in. I just want to say one thing about what Daniela presented, and I'll move right on. I feel like that model of a night before call, it is so different than what I've been doing. So if you're doing something different, don't feel bad. But already it's just such a huge game changer. The first person I asked all those questions to, I had a huge awakening as far as, oh my gosh, this is what they heard from me. And they did not catch this part at all. It was just so much better information right up front. So I'm really excited about how that one piece could impact all of our businesses and actually lives that we're working with. So, but I'm excited to share some tips about integrating clients on the client-centered Facebook page. We've got our coaches page in the OHC, and you may be a part of our Healthy Living, Happy Life page, but there's also, I think, Optimal Wellbeing, or there's some different pages that people may be a part of. So it doesn't matter which one you're part of.
I've got one that I run for all my direct coaches, and then obviously yours is for your clients, or all my direct clients, I mean. So there's a couple. I think Alex has his own as well. So there's a couple of different ones out there.
Right. So it doesn't matter which one you're a part of. These tips will work no matter what. So here are some real basics, just getting set up appropriately. As you bring on a new client, and sometimes you'll bring these people in before they're a client too. It's fine to bring them into the community that way as well. You obviously have to become Facebook friends with them, and give them a little bit of information about the group, how it works, and the benefits of it. And I always add them to the group before I then welcome them officially, and then that allows you to tag their name in it so they can see as people respond to the welcome on the page. And I like to add a picture of them as well. I usually try to choose a profile picture because that's probably one they approve of and they're not embarrassed of. So that's just a tip that I have. But this is an important thing to all of us. I hope this is where to turn your ears on if you're distracted. We all, as coaches, need to kind of make a commitment to keep our eyes open for when new people are welcomed on a page. You know, it's our job to be that community right up front, because there's nothing worse than welcoming somebody on a page and maybe there's a couple likes, but there's no comments. That's just not what the face that we want to be as far as the welcoming. So when you're on those pages, keep an eye out for those welcome messages. Give a warm welcome. And, you know, we've been kind of changing and asking some questions of the client. What are you most excited about? You know, what kind of recipes do you like? It doesn't matter what the question is, but engage them so that they can respond and feel welcome and feel part of it right away. So that's the basics. Now, I want to kind of go into just some tips. So the way I see this whole piece, I've used this analogy before, but I like to think of it as like we're all on the healthy ship, the boat, and I'm bringing my friends and family and referrals or whoever it is. And I want to find a way to connect them to the boat so that I'm not holding the rope to keep them connected. Because I've found time and time again, people will drift away and I'm swimming out to them and I'm trying to reattach them to the boat. So the sooner we can get them connected to the community and we can get them tied off and it's a good connection, that makes our job so much easier. And so these are some of the tips that immediately as I come in contact with them, I think it's a mindset shift. At least it was for me. I am constantly looking, how can I make that rope tighter? How can I tie that knot tighter so that I not have to swim out after them and try to bring them back to the community? So in any interaction you have with your clients, really be a detective or a sleuth, looking for what are some ways they can become more connected. What if they have 5 lines of rope connected to the community? Then we don't have to worry about any one of those kind of drifting off. So here's some things that I found. As I'm having a client conversation, maybe they say, oh, I just tried this new recipe, it was awesome. Would you mind sharing that? I've got some other clients that are really looking for some good recipes. Can you share that on our Facebook page? Sometimes I might say, maybe they're celebrating, I just lost 10 pounds in my first week. Oh my gosh, there are so many people that would love to celebrate with you. Would you mind posting that on Facebook? And they might be like, oh my gosh, I'm too private. I cannot do something like that. Well, then just encouraging, oh, okay, that's okay. How would you feel about maybe encouraging some other people? Would you be able to do that? Can you look for those posts that you might be able to jump on and help encourage others? Because that helps us all on our journey. If they have a breakthrough or a milestone, remember that doesn't have to be on the scale. It could be a mindset. It could be donating a bag of clothes to Goodwill. Post a picture, include that on our client page. I've encouraged I call this the double whammy. Like if I can encourage them to get into their Habits of Health book and they learn something, can you post what you learned? That brings us back to the Habits of Health. You're like being the teacher and getting them connected there. If they have questions, oh, I love coffee. Does that mean I can't have my creamer and my sugar anymore? I'll say, you know what? I'm not a coffee drinker, but there are so many people that have awesome ideas on coffee and ways you can be on plan and really enjoy that. Post it on the group. Ask a question. You're going to get so many ideas. You're going to be amazed. Let's see. So the other piece is it's really helpful if we model things ourselves. And so I really try to do that. There's a do and a don't here. Don't share things that are going to take somebody else completely off their journey. Because if you, and this is a bad example here, but I'm hoping it's safe because we're coaches. But if you just had a box of donuts, don't say that because they weren't even thinking about donuts before. So I'm sorry, I apologize. I just did that to you. But do be transparent about things that you're struggling with. I think just the other day, I posted something about, deciding that I'm somebody that can do hard things. That's a mental shift that I'm trying to overcome myself. And it's okay to be transparent and vulnerable a little bit, just because we all want to, sorry, Eileen, we all want to be growing. And so anything that shows that we're part of this process, part of this journey, we hit a new milestone, we set a new goal, those are great things to share because it's modeling and it allows them to be community to us and support us as well. So the last couple tips is it's also great if you make a post to encourage involvement, like, hey, today I'm starting a water war. How many ounces do you have in? That's a great post. Hey, what's one healthy choice you're making? Anything that focuses all of us on health is going to benefit us all. And then be sure to celebrate their community involvement and contributions. Oh my gosh, I saw you support so-and-so. That was such an encouraging comment. Thank you so much. And oh, thanks for posting that. That really, I heard from 3 other clients how much that impacted them. And so just encouraging that connection, it makes our job easier, like Daniela said. And it's just, we are better together. So there's just a few tips. I'm sure there are many more where that came from. So.
Wow.
Does anybody have any questions for Kim?
I just want to say that's huge, just with the tethers, and just having all those lines around a person. It's so easy with the winds of adversity in life. I mean, let's just make it real. Like married, relationships, kids, bills, family stuff, unexpected, to get so far blown off course. Man, we are anchors, and attaching that and having as many tight knots as possible. And we learned that the hard way as coaches, where did half my business go? Where did half my clients go? Right.
Well, and our own health too.
Yeah.
Where did my own health go?
That's
How
right.
come those tethers came loose?
That's right. It's good stuff.
I love it too, and it's not that, I don't know about you, but for me, I don't need to learn things. I need to be aware of them for the first time. And then I need to practice. I mean, how often do you have to check your knots? I just went sailing a little bit, and they're always checking their knots. Well, I tied that yesterday. Well, good luck today. Your boat might not be there. And it's the same with our own health. So we're continuing to not only make sure that we practice those things for our own lives, but we're modeling that for other people, because that is the secret sauce, is that it's not a one size fits all. It's not a one time, now it's set. It's learning and then relearning and reinforcing and reminding and remembering and all that. So thank you guys. It's really basic, really good stuff.
I love that. What it made me think of too is that not only anchoring our clients, but and I'm calling myself out here because I haven't been the best at this, but remembering that our coaches are still our clients. And we need to remember to go back and anchor with them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim. That was awesome.
It was great. Well, and the first step to integration is, and I think you're all bringing it out, is being integrated ourselves. So as an example, the other day, one of my clients said, "Oh, I'm such an emotional eater." And I had listened to a Habit of Health call that was on emotional eating. So I was able to send her that link. But if I'm not listening to the Habit of Health calls, I'm not going to know the content of them, and I'm not going to be able to support my clients as well. So the first step to integrating your clients is being integrated yourself. So remember that. And then your challenge for this week, so the call to action for everyone on this call, including myself, is to each day get on Facebook and make at least one comment, whatever Facebook client support page you're on, or whatever coach support, get on there and make at least one comment per day. And I think you're going to find it's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun doing it. When I know I've been watching, Alex does it really well on our page, and Kim, and all of us really. So keep doing that, because that's what's going to create the community. And as you start doing it, you're going to start to see opportunities to do it more and more. So next week, we'll talk about it and see what your experience was. So once a day, put it on your calendar or your appointment book, however you keep yourself scheduled, and get on there and make a comment. So,
another thing, Diane, is when you're doing that, when I encourage my client, they'll send me a text, "Hey, this cool thing just happened. Oh my goodness." I'm like, if I've already introduced them to our Facebook support group, I'm like, "Hey, can you go post that there?" What they don't realize, or if they have a question for me that I think the group could benefit, I'll say, "Can you ask that question over there?" And I've done that a couple times, even with coaches, and you guys have responded. Carrie had a question, and I said, "Can you ask that over there?" Or no, it was Don Hurst. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, somebody did that, and I said, "Can you go ask it over there?" And then you guys gave some additional, because I can only give my answer, and you guys give that additional answers. But one of the unintended benefits of that the client didn't even know would exist is when they posted it out there, that people commented on their thing from people they didn't even know that were in this group. I mean, the Facebook client community that I have is maybe 600 people on there. And so you never know who's going to comment on such and such as whatever. And, but I think that if for just encouraging them to go post it there, and then making sure that we're checking those so we can comment on those, and it will build momentum over time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Go ahead, Daniela.
I didn't know if you saw my chat, Alex, and I just think that you have such power in the way you comment because of your utilization of questions when you do that. And so I was hoping you might just take 30 seconds or whatever to talk about that.
Yeah, are you talking about on the Facebook group?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So one of the things we're looking to do, and thank you for giving me this opportunity, Daniela, is to tether and anchor people like we talked about. And I want to keep this in the framework of that context. And I want you to picture that house, that Parthenon that Craig drew with the pillars and the housetop and that safe place. And I want you to picture that that's actually the pilot house on top of a boat out in the ocean. Okay. The shelter that we're actually creating is out to sea. It is going somewhere. It's on this destination journey, and there's waves of adversity. So it's not like this stable thing that is just sitting on this anchor. It's our lives, or would you guys say, is on the back of adversities. Our lives are shifting constantly, you know, and that's I think the biggest disruption to the brain is to think that things aren't going to be constant. I just wanted to say that first. Wow, how much we do need the anchors and the support and sometimes tugboats to bring us back into the harbor for rest, and then we go back out. To your comment, Daniela, we're really here as a part of that to draw people out and into the community. And if we make comments, that's amazing. But if our comment actually has a question for them that aims them, wow. Because now the aim, awaken intrinsic motivation, the internal fire inside, it all of a sudden reminds them, remembering your purpose is going to be a constant when it comes to reaching health, because those winds and waves of adversity are constantly. And so picture that ship getting turned off course constantly by currents, by other traffic. And by us asking a question about what was it that inspired you, Jenna, to join this family, it intentionalizes in their mind. They go, well, I wasn't feeling so good, or I was so inspired by Kim, or I was, and it brings them back into remembrance of their why. It brings them back on course. And then all of a sudden, other people start jumping in, other tethers around it. So questions like that, and I could tell you lots of different questions, but I hope that opened up your mind to see that picture and to see how questions are those tethers or are those redirections.
Well, in what you're saying there too, Alex, is you comment on it and it's just, oh, that's great. But you comment and then you say, tell me now, what was this about? Or you actually maybe even ask for further clarification on what they said.
I even go on to say, where are you aiming for? Where are you headed? Where do you want this to go?
Can you give us just a live example, like a real simple word example of what you would say?
I'd like, I just gave you one that I just posted the other day. I asked a gal, I said, I can't remember what her name was. We'll just call her Mary. But I just said, Mary, so good to have you in this family. Just curious, what inspired you to join us? So she said something. Another question was, where are you hoping this goes in 3 to 6 months? She gave some specifics. I want to drop some weight. How much do you want to lose? You know, those kind of things. How do you want to feel? Like, what are you hoping this makes you feel like? Those things bring those specifics out.
Yeah, and also along with the questions, inviting them to something as well. So, you know, like if they comment on needing support in something, oh my gosh, you should join us on our healthy huddle on Thursdays at 8 p.m. or whatever, and give them the link. So it's easy, you know.
Or what if you asked the question, oh my gosh, that's great. Did you know that we have blah, 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 right? Did you know that? Even continuing the questioning there.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Can I just throw a little thought, just when you're private messaging a client, this is about anchoring. I have a client, he was very engaged with me, and I know he's a Christian. I know him and his wife have this brilliant aspect, and this isn't about Christianity. This is just me knowing a little bit about his life, okay? He's not responding back to a couple of my posts because life's probably getting busy. We've had a great relationship, and so instead of me making a comment about, hey, Phil, where are you? I can't see you. What's going on? I'm worried about you, right? I asked him something about his faith, right? Totally on the side because I'm leaning into his world. And then there's a response all of a sudden because it has nothing to do with the health side. Those are other ways to anchor the relationship.
Because that person, they may not see the connection, that there is a connection, and you're trying to connect to human being. Not
That's right. The communication was dropping and breaking apart, so I needed to find another way to get the communication reestablished, because you're not going to help someone get healthy if the communication anchor breaks.
Well, and he's like, you're just trying to connect with my weight loss.
That's right.
And he's like, I don't want to connect with that.
He might be, yeah, exactly.
Or whatever.
So let's go into family, which I know he's big into his family. So that's where I'm going. And I actually, honestly, could use some advice with parenting from a lot of people, right? So who knows? He might be the person that I needed to hear the thing from. I was very open to him having a solution for me. So cool. Man, Danielle, I shouldn't ask that. That went a little crazy.
I think it's great. So let's just review, kind of recap what we're doing here. Is lots of anchors to pull people back into community, asking questions to let them, you want to bounce the ball back and forth. You don't want to just preach at people or just blah, we don't want to just, we hate those infomercials, right? So let's not do that. We want to ask those questions. We want to draw them out. We want to say, hey, this was really great. Tell me a little bit more about blah, blah, blah. And you're having a dialogue. That's what human interaction, we flourish with that. And then the action item, I think I heard it properly, was that we will go into our Facebook community pages and we will post something. So we add our own content, and do we look for things to comment on as well? Can you give us some further clarification on that?
Well, really, I don't think there's a rule around it, just whatever, everyone's starting from a different place. We got some people on this call that are brand new. And so for them, just getting on and making a simple comment when we introduce a new client is going to be way outside their comfort zone. So, and for some of us who've been doing it for a while, maybe posting a question, kind of like what you've seen us do. We ask a question where everybody can get on and interact. So really, I don't think there's any right or wrong to it. Just do it. And as you get better at doing it, there'll be more opportunities. You'll see more opportunities and get more comfortable and do more and more. So
my point in asking that,
okay,
make the assignment really clear so I can get an A. So tell me how to get an A.
How to get an A? Okay, you get on every day and make one comment.
Or more.
No.
A plus is more.
Well, it depends on who it might be. Yeah, I get it. Go ahead.
And, whatever if you feel really bold, and I will encourage you to be bold and step out of your comfort zone, write a question and have people interact, around health, around the topic of health.
So extra credit.
Extra credit.
Extra credit would be to ask a question.
Yes.
But at least comment once a day.
Yes.
All right. So we should have technically at least 6 by next Friday. If
That's
we do
correct.
today, it'd be 7. Okay.
Yeah.
That's clear.
Yeah.
You know what the best part of this is, as we're talking about these tethers, as we do this, our anchor becomes stronger. And I think that's just another really cool thing to remember.
Yeah.
Nice bow on the end there.
Yes.
I liked what you did.
This is a little facilitation point, and that is, have you ever noticed that sometimes clients don't respond to the comments? You've introduced them to the group and everybody's commenting or liking, but you don't see them like or comment. And there's a reason. Either one, they're not a Facebooker and they don't even see the feed. They don't have the technology on their phone set up properly or understand how to use it. It's our job as coaches to help them integrate, to see that. Hey, did you see that comment, Mary? No. What? Or yeah, I did. Thank you. That was so nice. She doesn't have reciprocity for technology because she might be afraid or not know how to post on there. Or maybe just in her mind. And she says, yeah, that was really nice. How did it make you feel? She says, I felt really good. Hey, would you mind going back in there and posting how you felt about that? There's some folks that I think would be encouraged by that. Help facilitate them and get them in is the key.
Well, and what you said there was so critical. We're finishing up here. Is they don't know. Think of this. Listen to me just for a second. If we all knew how to be healthy, we would be. And not just the what, but the how and the actual doing of it. So you are the health coach. They've basically come to you because they don't know how to be as healthy as they want to be. And so they may think that community is irrelevant, but you're the pro. and you know that it's not. So let's continue to say, it's like someone wants to play basketball and they don't realize that dribbling with their left hand is going to be something they're going to need in the game. But you're the coach and you know it's going to be valuable. So you're going to teach them how to dribble with their left hand. And so this is the same thing. We are the coaches. It's our job to not only do it because it works for ourselves, but as people come to us and say, I'd like to hire you to help me be healthier, to actually to help them with what's necessary to do that. And connecting to community, as we've said over the last many weeks, is the magic secret sauce. That's the thing that binds us and anchors us together. So help them get connected to community. Help them. Maybe what if you said, don't go to anywhere else on Facebook, just this one place, right? You just help them to, I'm afraid of all Facebook. We're not going to go there. We're just going to go right here, right? In this one little special place, and it's going to build. So I want to encourage you guys with that perspective. If they knew how to be healthy and they were doing it, they'd be healthy, right? So thank you all for your preparedness. I just applaud you guys for your professionalism. And I love the fact that there's a lot to know, and we can't learn it all today, but we can learn it over time. And so sometimes we get involved in trainings where they have so much information that we get overwhelmed. And I love the way you guys are taking really basic things and we're teaching on a very specific skill set. And let's learn that skill set, because there's a new one coming that we're going to need to learn in the future. So let's not worry about that future one. Let's learn the one that was taught today and really establish that in our lives. And so you've got your assignment for the day. And we're just going to go from there. Anything else that I'm missing that you guys wanted to cover while we're closing?
This is going to be one of those calls to Zooms to watch back. Again, I've got some serious processing to do on this. Good stuff.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next time.
Can I put something in there?
Yes, of course.
I'm so proud of a couple of my brand new people, and they posted, and a few of you responded, like Alex and Kim and Daniela and Diane. But yeah, I think with this challenge, I think we should all, not just some of you, but all of us, look for those comments, especially from new people, because that's their way of getting validated and getting encouraged and stuff like that. So we need to all make comments.
It's good for us. It's good for them.
They're going to be afraid to say anything if we don't respond.
Mm-hmm. Good job. Thanks, Eileen. All right, guys. So for those of you, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time on the Health Coach Huddle.